Most people believe that protecting their kidneys is simple. Drink more water, cut back on salt, and you're doing everything you need to do. Those habits do matter, and I encourage my patients to follow them. But they're only part of the picture. There's another piece that doesn't get nearly enough attention, and it happens while you're asleep. Every night, your body enters a natural period of repair. Your kidneys are part of that process. What you choose to eat before bed can either support that recovery or make your kidneys work harder when they should be resting. The problem is that kidney disease is often called a silent condition for a reason. It usually doesn't cause pain. It doesn't send clear warning signs. By the time many people discover there's a problem, a significant amount of kidney function has already been lost. That's why the small choices you make today can matter more than you realize. In this video, I'll walk you through some of the best fruits to eat before bed if you want to support your kidney health. One of them surprises almost everyone because it's a fruit many people have been told to avoid. And before we finish, I'll share a simple bedtime recipe that's easy to make and can fit into almost any evening routine. It may become one of the easiest healthy habits you add to your day. If you're in your 60s, 70s, or even older, I want to reassure you of something. It's not too late to take better care of your kidneys. While we can't turn back the clock, there are still practical steps that may help slow the natural decline in kidney function. That's a goal worth pursuing. Over the years, I've cared for many older adults with different stages of kidney disease. One thing I've learned is that we're not looking for a miracle. We're looking for steady progress and long-term stability. Keeping your kidneys working well for as long as possible can make a real difference in your overall health and quality of life. That's the approach I take with my own patients, and it's the same approach I'll share with you today. Everything we're about to discuss is based on simple principles I regularly recommend in everyday practice. They're realistic, easy to understand, and designed to fit into daily life. Small changes, made consistently, can be more valuable than dramatic changes that never last. Before we get into the list, it helps to understand one simple idea about how your kidneys work. Inside each kidney are about 1 million tiny filtering units called nephrons. Think of them as the body's natural filtration system. They work around the clock, removing waste, balancing fluids, and helping keep your blood healthy. The challenge is that once these filters are damaged and lost, your body can't replace them. That's why protecting the nephrons you still have is so important, especially as you get older. Over the years, two things have stood out as some of the biggest threats to these tiny filters. The first is high blood pressure. When blood pressure stays elevated over time, it places extra strain on the delicate blood vessels inside the kidneys. The second is long-term oxidative stress. You can think of it as the gradual wear and tear that slowly affects cells throughout the body, including the kidneys. Now here's where nighttime becomes especially important. While you're asleep, your body naturally shifts into a period of repair and recovery. Blood pressure usually drops, giving your blood vessels and other organs a chance to rest. Your kidneys benefit from that quieter workload as well. That's one reason your evening routine matters more than many people realize. As we go through the fruits in this video, you'll notice that each one supports your kidneys in at least one important way. Some help reduce oxidative stress. Others support healthy blood pressure during the night. Some may help reduce the workload placed on the kidneys in different ways. Each fruit offers something a little different, but they all fit into the same overall goal of supporting kidney health while your body is resting. And remember, there's still one fruit we haven't talked about yet. It's the one that surprises most people because many have been told to avoid it completely. We'll come back to that a little later in the video. Let's start with one of the most well-studied fruits for overall health: blueberries. They may be small, but they've received a great deal of attention from researchers, and for good reason. Their deep blue color comes from natural compounds called anthocyanins. These are powerful antioxidants that help protect your cells from ongoing oxidative stress, one of the major factors we talked about earlier. Your kidneys contain thousands of tiny blood vessels that deliver oxygen and nutrients to those delicate filtering units, the nephrons. Over time, oxidative stress can gradually damage these small vessels, making it harder for your kidneys to do their job efficiently. Anthocyanins may help protect those blood vessels by reducing that daily wear and tear. While no single food can stop the aging process, supporting your body's natural defenses is one practical step you can take. Another reason I often mention blueberries is that they're relatively low in potassium compared with many other fruits. That's important because potassium can become a concern for some people as kidney function changes with age. We'll talk more about that later when we get to another fruit on this list, because it's a topic that often causes confusion. For now, it's enough to know that blueberries are a comfortable choice for many older adults. When it comes to portion size, you don't need a large bowl. A small serving in the evening is usually enough to enjoy their natural benefits without turning a healthy snack into an oversized dessert. They also pair well with other light bedtime foods, making them an easy addition to your evening routine. Sometimes people ask me if they need expensive supplements instead. My answer is usually simple. When whole foods can provide these natural compounds, they're often a great place to start. Blueberries are one example of how a small, consistent habit may support your kidneys over the long run. Next on the list are cranberries. Most people associate cranberries with urinary tract infections, and that's understandable. They've been recommended for that purpose for many years. But that's not the whole story. Their potential benefits go beyond the bladder and may also support long-term kidney health in an indirect way. Cranberries contain natural compounds that can make it more difficult for certain bacteria to stick to the lining of the urinary tract. When bacteria are less able to attach, they're also less likely to remain and cause problems. Keeping the urinary tract healthier may help reduce the chance of issues that could eventually place extra stress on the kidneys. It's a simple connection, but an important one. Like blueberries, cranberries also provide antioxidant compounds that help your body deal with oxidative stress. As we discussed earlier, oxidative stress is one of the ongoing challenges that can gradually affect the tiny blood vessels and filtering structures inside the kidneys. Supporting your body's natural defenses is another reason cranberries deserve a place on this list. One thing I always remind my patients is to pay attention to the form you choose. Many cranberry products on store shelves contain a surprising amount of added sugar. That extra sugar can take away from the healthy choice you're trying to make. Whenever possible, look for fresh cranberries, frozen cranberries, or products with no added sugar. That way, you're getting the natural benefits of the fruit without adding ingredients your body doesn't really need. Cranberries aren't a cure, and they aren't a replacement for good medical care. They're simply another practical choice that can fit into an overall kidney-friendly evening routine, especially when you focus on the fruit itself rather than sweetened versions. The next fruit may surprise you a little. It's red grapes. I say red grapes specifically because their deep color comes from a natural compound called resveratrol. This is one reason researchers have paid so much attention to them over the years. Resveratrol is known for helping support the health of blood vessels and healthy circulation. That's important because your kidneys depend on a rich network of tiny blood vessels to deliver oxygen and nutrients to the nephrons. When those blood vessels stay healthier, your kidneys are better supported as they continue their daily work. But there's another reason red grapes earned a place on this list. Many people don't realize they also contain small amounts of natural melatonin. Melatonin is the hormone that helps regulate your sleep and wake cycle. While grapes aren't a replacement for healthy sleep habits, this natural melatonin may contribute to a more restful night. And as we talked about earlier, nighttime is when your body shifts into its natural repair mode. Better sleep creates a better environment for that recovery process, including the work your kidneys do behind the scenes. That doesn't mean you should eat a large bowl of grapes before bed. Grapes are naturally sweet, and they contain more natural sugar than some of the other fruits we've discussed. Portion size still matters. A small serving is usually enough to enjoy their benefits without taking in more sugar than you need late in the evening. I often remind my patients that healthy foods still deserve balanced portions. More isn't always better. A moderate serving of red grapes can fit nicely into a kidney-friendly evening routine while supporting both your blood vessels and your overnight recovery. It's another example of how small, thoughtful choices can add up over time. Now let's look at kidney health from a slightly different angle. Most people think about the kidneys as a separate organ, but your digestive system also plays an important role. In recent years, researchers have paid much more attention to what's often called the gut-kidney connection. The healthier your gut environment is, the better it may support your overall health, including your kidneys. That's one reason apples deserve a place on this list. Apples contain a natural fiber called pectin. Pectin helps nourish the beneficial bacteria that live in your digestive system. Those healthy bacteria are an important part of maintaining a balanced gut environment. While that may not seem directly related to your kidneys at first, we're learning more about how closely these two systems work together. Supporting your gut can also support the body's overall balance, and that includes your kidneys. Whenever possible, I encourage my patients to eat the apple with the skin on. The skin contains additional fiber, along with many of the fruit's natural plant compounds. Of course, be sure to wash the apple well before eating it. Keeping the skin gives you more of what the fruit naturally has to offer, without making the snack any more complicated. Apples also have another practical advantage. Like blueberries, they're relatively low in potassium compared with many other fruits. That makes them a comfortable choice for many older adults who are trying to be more mindful about their diet. We'll talk more about potassium a little later because there's one fruit that causes a lot of confusion. Many people believe they should avoid it completely, but the answer isn't quite that simple. We'll come back to that in just a few minutes. For now, remember this. Sometimes, the simplest foods are the ones that fit most easily into a healthy evening routine. An apple may not seem exciting, but it's another small step that can support your body over time. Here's one that surprises many people. Tart cherries. They don't always get as much attention as other fruits, but they deserve a place on this list for a couple of important reasons. The first has to do with uric acid. High uric acid levels can increase the risk of certain types of kidney stones. That's why keeping uric acid within a healthy range is an important part of protecting long-term kidney health. Tart cherries have been studied for their potential to help support healthy uric acid levels, making them an interesting choice for many older adults. There's another benefit that brings us back to something we talked about earlier in the video. Tart cherries naturally contain melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate your sleep cycle. A good night's sleep is about much more than feeling rested the next morning. While you sleep, your body shifts into its natural recovery mode. That's when your kidneys also benefit from a quieter workload and a better environment for their normal repair processes. Supporting healthy sleep is another simple way to support your overall health. When it comes to enjoying tart cherries in the evening, keep it simple. A modest serving can fit nicely into your bedtime routine. The goal isn't to eat large amounts. It's to make a thoughtful choice that works with your body's natural rhythm instead of against it. Like the other fruits we've discussed, tart cherries aren't a cure or a quick fix. They're simply another practical option that may support your kidneys while also encouraging healthy sleep. Small habits like these may not seem dramatic from one day to the next, but over time they can become part of a healthier evening routine that supports your body in more than one way. Next, let's talk about a fruit that's familiar to almost everyone: strawberries. They may seem simple, but they offer several qualities that make them a good choice for supporting overall kidney health. Like some of the fruits we've already discussed, strawberries contain natural antioxidants. These compounds help your body deal with oxidative stress, one of the long-term challenges that can gradually affect the kidneys and many other organs as we age. Strawberries also help support a healthy inflammatory response. That's important because ongoing inflammation can place additional stress on the body over time. Along with their antioxidant properties, strawberries may also help support the health of your blood vessels. Healthy blood vessels are essential because they carry oxygen and nutrients to the tiny filtering units inside your kidneys. Supporting those blood vessels is another way to help your kidneys continue doing their job. One reason I like strawberries as an evening snack is that they're light, refreshing, and easy to include in a balanced bedtime routine. You don't need a large serving to enjoy them. A modest portion is usually enough and fits well with the idea of keeping your last meal of the day simple. If you already have advanced kidney disease, portion size becomes even more important. That's one reason it's always a good idea to follow the guidance of your healthcare provider about which fruits and how much are appropriate for your situation. For many older adults, though, strawberries can be another practical choice. They're easy to enjoy, naturally satisfying, and can be part of a healthy evening routine that supports your body over the long term. Now, let's look at another fruit that deserves a place on this list: pineapple. Most people think of pineapple as a sweet tropical fruit, but it also contains a natural enzyme called bromelain. Bromelain has been studied for its ability to help support a healthy inflammatory response. Since long-term inflammation can place extra stress on many parts of the body, including the kidneys, choosing foods that help support your body's natural balance can be a smart addition to your daily routine. There's another reason pineapple works well as an evening snack. It may help support comfortable digestion, which can make the body feel a little lighter before bedtime. That's important because your body does much of its natural recovery while you sleep. A lighter evening meal and easier digestion may help create a better environment for that overnight repair process. While this isn't a direct treatment for kidney health, it fits well with the overall goal of giving your body the support it needs during the night. As with every fruit we've discussed, portion size still matters. Pineapple contains natural sugar, so it's best enjoyed in moderation. A small serving is usually enough to enjoy its benefits without adding more sugar than you need before bed. I often remind my patients that healthy eating isn't about choosing one perfect food. It's about building consistent habits that are realistic and easy to maintain. Pineapple can be one of those simple choices when it's enjoyed in sensible portions as part of a balanced evening routine. Now let's come back to the fruit I mentioned at the beginning of the video. This is the one that creates the most confusion. Citrus fruits, such as oranges and grapefruit, are often placed on a good list or a bad list. The truth is a little more balanced than that. One reason citrus fruits receive so much attention is that they contain citrate. Citrate may help reduce the risk of certain types of kidney stones by making it more difficult for those stones to form. For people who are trying to support their kidney health, that's an important benefit and one reason citrus fruits are often included in healthy eating plans. But here's where things become a little more complicated. Citrus fruits also contain potassium. As we discussed earlier, potassium isn't automatically something to avoid. In fact, many people can enjoy potassium-rich foods as part of a healthy diet. The concern is mainly for individuals with more advanced kidney disease. When kidney function is significantly reduced, the body may have a harder time maintaining normal potassium levels. That's why the same fruit that benefits one person may not be the best choice for someone else. So who can benefit from citrus fruits? For many older adults with normal kidney function or only mild changes, they can be a healthy addition to the diet. They provide citrate and can fit well into an overall kidney-friendly lifestyle. However, if you've been told that you have advanced kidney disease or you've been instructed to monitor your potassium intake, it's important to speak with your doctor or healthcare provider before eating citrus fruits on a regular basis. This is exactly why nutrition advice isn't always one size fits all. The goal isn't to label a food as completely good or completely bad. It's to understand when it fits your individual situation. That's the answer behind the question we started with, and hopefully it helps clear up one of the most common misunderstandings about fruit and kidney health. Before we wrap up this list, I want to mention something important. As helpful as these fruits may be, they are only one part of a healthy lifestyle. They are not a treatment for kidney disease, and they should never replace medical care or the advice of your healthcare provider. If you notice warning signs such as swelling, ongoing changes in your urination, or other symptoms that concern you, don't assume that changing your diet alone will solve the problem. Those situations deserve a proper medical evaluation. The earlier kidney problems are identified, the more options you may have to help protect your kidney function. I also want to offer one reminder for anyone who has already been diagnosed with kidney disease or is taking medications that affect potassium levels. Before making significant changes to your diet or regularly adding foods that are higher in potassium, have a conversation with your doctor or healthcare provider. The best choices are the ones that fit your individual health needs. That's always the safest and most practical approach. Let me finish with the story of one of my patients, Eleanor. When she came to see me, she was in her late 60s. She felt fine and had no clear symptoms that made her think something was wrong. But during a routine checkup, her test results showed that her kidney function had started to decline. Like many people, she was surprised because kidney problems often develop quietly. Instead of looking for a miracle or a quick fix, Eleanor focused on a few simple changes she could actually stick with. She began paying more attention to her evening routine. Rather than reaching for salty snacks or sugary desserts after dinner, she chose lighter options, including some of the fruits we've talked about today. She also made it a habit to take a gentle walk after her evening meal. Nothing strenuous, just a short, comfortable walk that fit naturally into her day. We continued to monitor her kidney function over the following year. Her kidneys didn't suddenly become as healthy as they were decades earlier. That wasn't the goal. What mattered was that her kidney function remained stable, and her blood pressure became better controlled. For someone her age, that was meaningful progress. That's one of the most important lessons I've learned over the years. Good health isn't always about turning back the clock. More often, it's about slowing the changes that come with aging and protecting the function you still have. Small, consistent habits may not seem dramatic today, but over time, they can make a real difference. Now, let me share the simple bedtime recipe I promised at the beginning of this video. I like to think of it as a kidney-friendly evening snack rather than a miracle drink. The idea is simple. Combine a serving of some of the fruits we've talked about, such as blueberries or strawberries, with plain yogurt or kefir. Then add a light sprinkle of cinnamon. Each ingredient has a purpose. The fruit provides the natural compounds we've discussed throughout this video. The yogurt or kefir adds a simple, satisfying base that fits well into an evening routine. The cinnamon adds flavor without relying on extra sugar. The goal isn't to create the perfect recipe. It's to make it easier to replace late-night snacks that are often high in sugar, salt, or heavily processed ingredients. That's where many people make the biggest difference. Instead of reaching for cookies, chips, or other packaged snacks before bed, you choose something lighter and more supportive of your overall health. You may have noticed that I didn't include citrus fruit in this recipe. That's intentional. As we discussed earlier, citrus can be a good choice for many people, but it isn't the right fit for everyone, especially those who need to pay close attention to potassium. This simple recipe keeps the focus on ingredients that work well for many older adults while still being easy to prepare. Remember, healthy habits don't have to be complicated. Sometimes the best routine is the one that's simple enough to enjoy consistently, night after night. Before we finish, let's quickly review the most important points. Try to eat dinner a little earlier when you can. Choose a fruit that fits your needs if you'd like a light snack before bed. If the bedtime recipe we discussed sounds appealing, give it a try and see if it works for your evening routine. A short, gentle walk after dinner is another simple habit that can easily become part of your day. And if you've been diagnosed with kidney disease or have been told to watch your potassium intake, be sure to talk with your doctor before making regular changes to your diet. Remember, the goal isn't to change everything overnight. It's to build small, practical habits that you can maintain over the long term. Those consistent choices are often the ones that make the biggest difference. As we wrap up, I'd like you to remember one simple idea. Protecting your kidneys isn't about finding one perfect food. It's about making small, healthy choices that you repeat day after day. Those choices add up over time. Whether it's eating dinner a little earlier, choosing a better evening snack, or taking a short walk after your meal, each habit can become part of a healthier routine. You don't have to change everything tonight. Just pick one simple step and start there. Sometimes the smallest change is the one that's easiest to keep, and consistency is what matters most in the long run. In our next video, we'll look at something many people have never heard of, even though it may provide an early clue that your kidneys are under stress. It's a simple lab value that often receives far less attention than it deserves, yet it may help identify kidney problems long before obvious symptoms appear. If you want to learn what that number is and why it matters, I hope you'll join me for the next video. Until then, take good care of yourself and I'll see you again soon.